All right, 3 o'clock here on Unfiltered. I got my man Ray Dunne with me for one more segment.
Whined and whined and whined.
Begged.
So here I am.
I did.
Fell
I
to
did.
his knees.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not too proud to beg. I ain't too proud to beg. Remember that
beggar?
jam? No.
You should be
But
less
for
proud
you,
to
I
sing.
would. For you, I would, and I did, and here you are, hanging out with me.
Not much of a beggar either.
So we'll get back to the other conversation we were having. Still would love to hear from people. As you look at the 2026 Eagles offense, how good can they be and how bad can they be? Because this is the first time I remember in quite some time that, man, it could go either way, and you could see the blueprint for it. You could see this being the best offense in the Jalen Hurts era, and you could see it being the worst. Would love to hear from people. Get your voice memos in. We hear you coming up.
Something interesting about that, real quick. I apologize to strong arm you here on while you're trying to get into something else, but I forget who said it to us. I think it was Jeff Mosher that said it to us on middays yesterday when he joined us about the target share. Like the lion's share in which Devontae Smith's going to have to take versus everyone else. That there's a chance that Devontae Smith has this massive year, but if he has this massive year, it's probably an indication that the offense itself wasn't good enough. Because you need one of those other guys. It shouldn't be a 150 target year for Devontae Smith. In your ideal world, when you see this work out the best, because I want to go to the optimistic side here. I've talked enough about AJ Brown being in love with Mike Vrabel this week to make me puke, so I'd like to be optimistic here for a moment. In the best case scenario, what does it look like for this offense in your eyes?
Well, I think the 2022 offense for the Eagles is where I'm hoping it looks in terms of the target share. Because that season, even though you didn't have Saquon, Miles Sanders did have 1,300 yards rushing. 1,269 to be exact, but 1,300 yards rushing.
5 and above, give it a shove, yeah.
A.J. Brown had close to 1,500 yards receiving, and Devontae Smith had 1,200 yards receiving.
Yep.
I mean, so you saw right there, you could still have good target share, and a lot of guys eat.
So, Devontae, 1,400 this year. Lemon, 850, 900?
Yeah, maybe him and Dontavian Wicks are both around 700-800 yards, and then you got Saquon back to a 1,200-yard guy, 1,300-yard guy. Tank Bigsby gets some touches. I mean, that's what I'd like to see. Don't forget Dallas Goedert being your red zone.
Eli Stowers with at least 10 touchdowns. Yeah, Stour Hour. I'm telling you, we're pounding them.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. We might have to steal the Stour Hour because we're the show that's on for that type of activity. You can't do the Stour Hour at 11 a.m. You could
watch me.
You could do the Stour Hour at a nice 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, a football Friday.
I'll do a Stour Hour at noon on a Friday.
All right. Let's get. I want
to into work nowadays.
Get your voice memos in. Get your voice memos in. We hear you coming up at 3:45. Take shots at Ray if you want, or answer the question about the Eagles offense. How good can they be? How bad can they be? And where do you think it'll end up? 610-632-0975. But let's look at this trade now from the AJ Brown perspective of, did the Eagles fleece the Patriots? Because that's now the new talking point. Jimmy Kempski of Philly Voice put an article out today, and this is literally the title of the article. The Eagles fleeced the Patriots in the A.J. Brown trade. Now, I thought when I first heard the terms, first and fifth, and with the first coming in 2028, I'm like, all right, it's a win-win. It's a win-win for both sides. But then I read Kempski's article. He kind of lays out, as receivers get older, how likely it is for them to have 1,000-yard seasons and all that. And then I heard Ian Rappaport on the NFL Network saying what the Patriots wanted to pay. Listen to this.
And everyone assumed that, okay, well, A.J. Brown is getting traded to the Patriots no matter what. Except there was a compensation issue, notably that the Philadelphia Eagles wanted a 1 for A.J. Brown, and the Patriots did not believe that was his worth. They believed he was worth a 2027 second-round pick. So the way that the two teams compromised was this. Instead of a 2027 first-rounder, it was a 2028 first-rounder, and most teams believe the value of a first-rounder, not this year, but the following year, loses around. In other words, a 2 this year is the same as a 1 next year.
All right, so the fact that the Patriots only wanted to pay a second rounder, it doesn't bother me at all that Howie said, okay, make it a first, just push it 2 years. It's still a first-round draft pick. So I wouldn't say that the Eagles fleeced the Patriots, but when you look at what you gave up to get AJ, a first and a third, and then the 4 years of production you got, He's now 4 years older, and you turn around and you get a first and a fifth. I mean, really, AJ cost you a third and a fifth round pick swap, essentially. Like, that's what the Eagles did to get 4 years out of AJ Brown. Like, yeah, the Eagles won the trade then when you look at it from those terms.
I guess if you want to say they won the trade, to me, you gave up an all-pro. I mean, even if he's not all-pro, Pro Bowl level, one of the best wide receivers, top 15 wide receiver in the league, who's going to be energized to prove something, who we saw the first 2 years in Philadelphia. Granted, it was 4 years ago. He was 4 years younger. He came in here energized, had a big season, took you to a new level. From the Patriots side of things, Romeo Doubs, was that really a wide receiver one? No, you got A.J. Brown now. You're coming off of a Super Bowl. You're going to need some help because you're not playing the cupcake schedule you did a season ago. You look at that AFC, by the way, just keeps getting weaker. I mean, you look at the AFC, you have to compete with the Bills in your own division, for sure. After that, is there a team like in the AFC? Okay, the Ravens, but they have a new head coach. You're talking about Lamar Jackson. The Chiefs, they got question marks about Mahomes. Like, if you're the Patriots, you look around at the rest of the conference like, boy, is it nice to be an AFC team right now. You're not in the NFC. You don't have to deal with the Rams, the reigning Super Bowl champions, and the Seahawks. You don't have to deal with what the Bears and what that North division could be with the Lions and the Packers, the whole thing. You have to deal with the Eagles. Like, if you're the Patriots, you added a premier talent in a year where it looks pretty open in your conference, a conference you won a season ago. And you say, hey, he's pretty energized to have a big year against our rookie quarterback while we're building, or not rookie quarterback, rookie deal quarterback, a guy that's on his rookie deal. If I'm the Patriots, I look at his win. I've been complaining, honestly, more that those people up in Boston are sitting around here like, oh, my gosh, it was such an overpay.
Well, listen.
You pay a premium for talent.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you're wrong in anything you said with regard to what the Patriots are getting. Yeah, they're getting a number one wide receiver, and they needed a number one wide receiver.
That's a win.
And I'm sure he's going to have a good year. But if we're just looking at what they paid for it, the reason I think the Eagles win the trade, the Patriots were the only ones in on this trade. Everyone else
wanted the guy.
Yeah, but look, supply and demand. You're a smart guy.
I understand.
You understand economics.
Right.
If the Patriots wanted to play hardball, I guarantee you they could have got A.J. Brown for less. Now, I know Howie Roseman came out and said, I wasn't trading him for anything less than a one. Once you drafted Mekhi Lemon, he was on his way out.
I would have stared right in the eyes of Howie Roseman and said,
it's a scary place to be, Ray.
I know.
It's a scary place to be.
I would have looked him right in his eyes. Would have said, Howie, you let Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown toss the football around at OTAs and deal with that firestorm. You know what? You want to go to training camp with this? Go to training camp with this. AJ's already living in my city.
You know what the best part of that was just now, Sil? He stared at the camera like we were actually on television today.
Well, you got to practice.
It was very well done, but the cameras aren't on today, Ray.
Listen, sometimes it gets a little awkward. You don't know where to look, so you might as well just try.
Looking at him for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, but sometimes I forget.
Social media video, you don't know.
I forget sometimes when we're not on TV. We'll be on TV a little bit later.
I want whoever's over there at NBC just to look at the screen and be like, "Wow, Ray's staring into my soul."
Yeah,
now.
we need that guy. We need that guy.
I always wonder if they are monitoring us while we're not on TV.
But I just said to you about the Patriots being the only ones in. The only other team that was really rumored to be in on this was the Rams.
Right.
And I think you've heard this clip, but Les Snead, the general manager for the Rams. Yeah. Is this your clip?
Yeah, that's fine.
The GM for the Rams. Hold on. My wife is calling me right now. I know she knows that I'm on the air.
Yeah, you want to take that? I could set this up for you. So turn your mic off. You're going to talk to your wife.
I turned it off.
Oh, we're putting it on speaker? We're putting her on speaker?
Hey, babe, I got you on the air. You're live on the air, babe. Babe, she butt dialed.
Oh, it's a butt dial.
I figured it was a butt dial. Now, she's going to make her on-air debut just now, my wife.
I was terrified because I would think that someone that knows you're on the air, calling you when you're on the air, is pretty urgent.
Right?
Yeah, she's down in Ocean City right now.
I thought she was going to be like, you might want to take this off speaker.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was terrified for.
It's possible. Hey,
you could hear her walking, though. She was walking.
It's live radio. She almost made her debut. All right, but I just said the only other team that was rumored to have been interested at a certain point on AJ was the Rams.
You went babe right away. You love the babe.
He says that all the time.
Yeah.
Such a babe guy.
I'm a babe. Only with her, though.
Well, obviously.
I'm not like the guy at the diner who's like, hey, babe, you mind filling up my coffee for
No,
worst person.
What does she call you? Because you guys seem like a pet name crew here.
I think she just calls me Billy.
Billy?
Yeah.
Oh, little Billy.
She might call me Babe too. But yeah, you know the guy who's at the diner who's like, hey, sweetheart.
Well, back when I worked over there at NBC Sports Philly, in between shifts, I would go down to a diner in South Philly, and I would sit there, have something to eat, and start doing some stuff. And there was a guy there that was a regular that, sweetheart.
Yeah.
And it's
Literally, I'm so happy I never worked in the service industry because I'd probably get fired.
Well, I actually...
my face, it would just be...
I managed a diner for a short time while I was in law school.
I didn't work with him during that. I want to be very clear. I just remember him telling this.
And there was this nicer older man who, whenever he would want to tip the waitresses, he would always say to me, hey, give this $2 to that chickadee over there.
Chickadee.
And I just have to go over and give her $2. Hey, that's from him. But he was so nice. He didn't realize if he was being inappropriate,
right.
you know?
No, there's nothing better than being a regular somewhere. It's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and you're a regular at a lot of watering holes in the Fishtown area.
Correct.
As we know.
I know quite
a regular
a few
on the dating apps as well.
So,
whoa.
Check them out. Ladies, Raymond Dunne on the Hinge app. You still on Hinge?
I am still on Hinge.
Do you do Raymond or do you do Ray?
Just Ray.
I was going to say.
It's
got to get it right at least.
I was at a brewery yesterday that does the ordering by the QR code, and they kept calling Raymond. My friends thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Yeah. It's like it's my name.
I know. I get William. I get William all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, we digress. What are we doing here?
I'm distracting you.
So we were talking about the trade. Did the Eagles win the trade? And I said the Patriots were the only one in on it. Supply and demand. The Rams were rumored to have been on it early. And then the reports that we got from Mike Florio, and they've since been confirmed by Jeff McClain and others, were that the Rams got out once they saw the medicals. They were concerned about AJ's knee, which is even more evidence that maybe the Patriots overpaid. If another team saw the knee and said, hey, no way. But here was Les Snead on Pat McAfee's show. What was this, yesterday or today?
Yesterday.
Les Snead, general manager for the Rams. McAfee tries to hold him down and say, hey, were you interested in AJ Brown? Listen to this.
Was there a talk about a wide receiver you guys were you always going to make a big trade?
You know, I can say this. This was an opportunity that arose. We thought we should seize it. So you can't ever plan for opportunities. So, but I can say some of the AJ Brown stuff, that was Philly was discussing trading him kind of back in the that was more back in free agency. So that was something we were aware of.
Snooping around, maybe. Hey, we'll listen a little bit. We'll snoop around a little bit, see what's going on.
See what's going on. That's our job. That's the business.
So he wouldn't commit to it, but they sniffed around a little bit.
They were interested.
And they backed out.
Yeah.
Which is even more reason why the Patriots probably should have done what Ray Dunne said he would do, which is stare Howie Roseman right in the eye and say, we're not paying more than a second.
Yeah, but come on. Mike Vrabel's in your ear. Listen, I understand that means a lot of different things nowadays. But Mike Vrabel's in your ear. He's telling you, I want AJ Brown. You're going to do it. He just took you to the Super Bowl. And here's the thing, because this is what drives me nuts about the reaction of like this being an overpay by the Patriots. Let's do the reverse here. Let's run the inverse here of, hey, here is 29-year-old wide receiver that has had a lot of success, and let's put him in a different situation that we're not too close to. Like, let's just say he was playing somewhere else, and look, the numbers weren't there, but it was a running-based offense 2 years ago. This past season, we didn't like the offensive coordinator. Maybe if you don't like the quarterback. If this was reversed and A.J. Brown was traded to the Eagles, and we were talking about a draft pick 2 years from now, we were talking about a team that just came off of a run to a Super Bowl, they add a guy like A.J. Brown at 29 years old, I'd be saying, hell yeah, sign me up for that, because I think it helps you maximize your championship window.
Yeah, no, we would be happy about it.
So that's why I get it. We could say Eagles, great job getting value. Good work by Howie Roseman getting value here and getting the maximum return. It's closer to a win-win for me than a fleece, is really where I'm coming down with this, because that's what I've been bothered by in Boston. It's like, if I was in your scenario, I'd be hosting the What Do We Need to Know About A.J. Brown show.
Yeah, you make a good point, too, because what was the alternative for the Patriots? They couldn't go into this season.
Hey, Stephon.
Yeah, they couldn't do it. So that they couldn't go into this season after losing Stephon Diggs and think that they were going to be okay with a tougher schedule, not having a number one. So you're right.
Romeo Dobbs and booty everywhere. That was the plan.
Kenyon Booty. Some would say...
I didn't like that at all.
Well, someone would say that...
that's okay.
Mike Vrabel already made his booty call.
Yep. Hey!
How about that?
Oh, wait, is that Sean Brace?
Yeah, that's Sean. Well, no, it's the Andrew Dice Clay, but it's his board.
Yeah.
I know where it is.
That's one of my favorite drops.
I like that one. But yeah, listen, the Patriots had to do it. But here's the crazy thing, and this is what makes Howie Roseman so good. So before we even look at what he did with the Carson Wentz stuff, most general managers would be reluctant to accept a first-round draft pick that's 2 years down the road. But what makes Howie Roseman so good at times is the job security that he has. He knows I'm not going anywhere, so I can make trades with my eyes on 2, 3, even 4 years down the road because I'm still going to be here. Guys like Joe Shane, who you know is my least favorite general manager.
Still has a job. Extension.
Just got an extension. But sometimes he has to make decisions like, I got to win now.
Now he doesn't.
Now he doesn't, which is still blows my mind that they gave that guy an extension. But that's what makes Howie Roseman so good. And this is just shows the stability of the Eagles organization. When you're able to make decisions 2, 3, 4 years down the road, that's why we make the old cliche, well, Howie's playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
It's because he's allowed to play chess, not checkers.
That's true. Were you a chess guy?
I actually am pretty good at chess. But I can only think like 1 or 2 moves ahead. I can't.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's hard to think like 3 or 4 moves ahead. Are you a chess guy?
I enjoy some chess.
Are you good?
I was like 10 years ago.
You would be a chess player.
Yeah. Well, they needed to, expand the brain.
What are you? Do you use the queen a lot? Is that your move? Like, do you use the queen the whole time? Like, what are you doing?
Not so much. I try and let the dirty work be done by everyone outside of the royal family.
You like the knight?
Yeah. A little knight action, a little bishop. Yeah. My rook will wreak havoc on you. Just you wait.
Sil, you know how to play chess?
No. My little brother, though, very good at chess.
Yeah, my daughter's only 10, knows how to play.
Yeah. It was funny when he came home and in high school and he was like, Dad, I think I'm going to join the chess club. And my mom was like, please be nice. Don't say anything.
No, it's good. It's good for your brain.
Yeah, it works the brain.
Oh, he's way smarter than, there's 4 of us, smarter than us all.
All right, speaking of being smarter than us all, Raymond Dunn, smartest guy at the Fanatic. Appreciate you hanging out a little bit.
Remember when we started this conversation, I talked about low bars?
Yeah. Are you saying there's a low bar here? Appreciate that. Ray Dunne, check him out tonight. Where you going? You got Quizzo, right?
Yeah, it's member only, so.
Oh, whoa, excuse us. Not only is it Quizzo, it's members only Quizzo. I didn't even know that existed. All right, Ray Dunne, appreciate you hanging out with us. As we're talking about Howie Roseman being the GOAT, the last time he made a trade where he got a first-round pick 2 years down the road was the Carson Wentz trade. I want to revisit that and take a look. What did the Carson Wentz trade ultimately produce for the Philadelphia Eagles? This is going to blow your mind. Unfiltered continues, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, this is why Howie Roseman is the GOAT. So he trades AJ Brown. He gets the first-round pick that he wanted, but it just so happens to be it's 2 years from now. Now, some people look at that and say, oh, man, you got to wait 2 years to use it. But with Howie Roseman's job security, doesn't matter. He knows he's going to be here to use it. And a first-round pick is a first-round pick. And the last time he did this was Carson Wentz. You go back to February of 2021. They have to trade Carson Wentz. He gets a 2021 third and a 2022 conditional first-round pick. So 2 drafts from then, just like he did with AJ. The conditional pick ends up turning into a first-round pick. If you follow over the next few years what Howie Roseman was able to do with that Carson Wentz first-round pick that was 2 years later, it's incredible. So if you remember, he ends up being able to trade up and he gets Devontae Smith. He ends up being able to trade a first-round pick. He gets AJ Brown. He's able to trade a first-round pick with the New Orleans Saints and accumulate another pick. I mean, if you go through it, it'll take forever to go through all the ins and outs of how that trade unfolded and everything that he did. But ultimately, after it was all said and done, this is what's crazy. After it was all said and done, the Carson Wentz trade ended up producing Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and some other players that didn't work out. It's incredible. So that's why you can't be short-sighted and say, oh, man, he got a first-round pick in 2028. What are they going to do? No. You want Howie Roseman to have time to work. You want Howie Roseman to have time to cook because it's exactly what he did with the Carson Wentz pick, and we're still seeing the fruit of that tree. Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt, Devontae Smith, and AJ Brown's even a part of that. So now AJ Brown is still a part of the Carson Wentz flower tree. You traded that, and now you're getting a first and a fifth, so you could even trace that back to the Carson Wentz trade. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. It's what makes Howie Roseman the GOAT. He's able to think 2, 3, 4 years down the road. A lot of that goes to Jeffrey Lurie and the stability of the Eagles organization, allowing someone to do that because he knows he's going to be here to use those picks. It's what makes the Eagles one of the best run organizations. But as we're looking at that, let's take a step back then and look at the 2026 Eagles, because the question that we started the show with, now that you know you don't have AJ, and you look at the 2026 offense, how good can they be? And just as important, how bad can they be? What's the ceiling and what's the floor? And I truly believe the ceiling is the best offense we've seen with Jalen Hurts at the helm. I think it could be better than 2022. I really do. Unfortunately, though, the floor is probably even worse than what you saw last season. So I would love to hear from people on that. Get your texts in. Get your voice memos in. We hear you coming up at 3:45. What's the ceiling? What's the floor? And where do you think this Eagles offense will finish closer to? 610-632-0975. Let's go to the phones. My man MJ from Pottstown wants to weigh in. What's going on, MJ?
Hey, Bill. Hey, Sil.
Hey, how are you?
Living the dream, brother.
Good. Yeah, I hear you. You know, Bill, you raise a good point. You know, it could be as good could be, or it could be really bad, right? And I said to the producer when I was talking to him, I said, you know what I wanted to talk about was, what are some of the things when you break down that offense last year, that debacle, right? What caused it? Was it the line that just didn't open up the holes, you know, for Barkley? Was it the line that just didn't give Jalen that extra second that he might have needed to, you know, throw a couple daggers down the field, right? Or was it Jalen not reading things the right way? I don't think it was Saquon Barkley. He doesn't just wake up and suck the next year, you know?
Yeah, no, so, I think you're right, man. I think a lot of it was the offensive line, MJ, and that's why when you look at this year.
And you know Jalen, how Jalen's not going to go, the offensive line is like not blocking enough for me. He isn't going to say that. Not on his worst day, he's not going to say that.
Yeah, that's what we love about Jalen. The one thing is, I mean, you could be the biggest Jalen Hurts hater out there and not think that he's a skilled quarterback. I don't think there's anyone out there that can disagree with the fact that Jalen's not going to throw people under the bus. Never. I mean, he's had every opportunity over the last few years, even when AJ was doing what he was doing and saying what he was saying. Jalen never said anything publicly. I mean, he does handle being the franchise quarterback in the city of Philadelphia maybe better than anyone we've seen. And I think I was listening to Middays today, and a caller called up. I think it was Ishmael, if I'm not mistaken. Who called?
Ish?
No, not Ish.
Oh, not Ish.
I think it was Ishmael, who called up and was saying that all the other quarterbacks, Wentz and McNabb, and they all had rabbit ears where they heard everything that was being said about him, and they felt a need to respond to everything that was being said about him. I mean, the closest thing we've ever got to Jalen saying something was after the Pittsburgh game in 2024. That's what y'all wanted to see, huh? Outside of that, you wouldn't even know if Jalen had any clue what people are saying. Of course he does. Of course the Eagles media team fills him in if he doesn't see it when he goes to the podium, and he knows what people are wondering, what people are discussing. The Eagles media team is very good. They're going to have these guys prepared. But Jalen never really leads on that he knows what people are saying. But when we look at last year's offense, like the point MJ brings up is, I don't think Jalen Hurts had a great year at all. Was he the number one problem last year? No, I still believe the number one problem, even more so than Kevin Patullo, as crazy as that might sound, I still think it was the offensive line. Like, even if you had Kellen Moore back in that role, who won a Super Bowl with you in 2024, even if Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator last year, would you have been better offensively? Probably. But would you have been good enough offensively? Probably not. If you weren't getting Lane Johnson playing to the level of what you expect, where he wasn't even playing because he was injured, and you're not getting Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson playing at Pro Bowl caliber levels, and Jordan Mailata had a step back year a little bit, I don't think it would have mattered who your coordinator was. Things would have been a little better. I doubt you would have finished 24th in terms of yards like they did last season, but I also don't think you would have been a top 10 offense like you had been the last 3 seasons before it. I mean, the crazy thing is even going back to 2023, as bad as things got, that offense still finished as a top 10 offense. Points scored, yardage, even passing, you were 16th.
It's so weird.
Yeah, you weren't anywhere near what you've been the last 2 years. I mean, you were still 16th in passing that year in 2023. It was more down the stretch where things got ugly. They actually weren't that bad to start the season. Once they got figured out, they had no answer for the blitz. But, yeah, I'm curious, though, where people are going to weigh in on this. When you look at this Eagles offense, how good can they be? How bad can they be? Because I think this is probably the biggest crossroads I've seen in the Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts era. Like, you go back to 2021, that was Jalen Hurts' first season as a starter, Sirianni's first season as the coach. They didn't throw the ball a lot. They were 32nd in pass attempts. They ran their way into the playoffs. They finished that year 9-8. They lose in the wild card round. They then come out in 2022 and have a tremendous season. Top 3 offense. Everything's clicking. Shane Steichen showing he's a masterful play caller. Jalen Hurts silenced all the critics. He's an MVP caliber player. AJ has 1,500 yards. Devontae has 1,200 yards. Miles Sanders has like 1,300 yards rushing. Like, that offense was absolutely phenomenal. I think this offense can be that 2022 offense. I actually think it could be better even without AJ Brown if everything goes their way. If the offensive line's healthy. If Devontae's ready to step up and be the number 1. If somebody can step up and be the number 2, whether that's Mekhi Lemon or Dontavian Wicks. If Dallas Goedert can stay healthy and Eli Stowers is a good tight end too. If Jalen Hurts adapts to Sean Mannion. If Sean Mannion is everything he's been advertised to be. Like, if all those things happen, we might see the best offense we've ever seen under Jalen Hurts. It's possible. But at the same time, it's also possible that this offense is the worst offense we've seen in the Jalen Hurts era. Like, there's so many things that need to go one way or another for this offense to either be good or bad. Now, what's probably the most likely, not everything will get answered positively or negatively. Like, maybe the offensive line is healthier, but not as good as they used to be. Maybe the wide receiver room is good, but takes a step back from what they were with AJ there. Maybe Jalen Hurts is able to adapt to the Sean Mannion offense, but it doesn't happen right away. There's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some bumps in the road during the season. Like, I feel like that's probably what's more likely, is that everything's not necessarily going to get answered in the affirmative. There's probably going to be some things that either land in the middle, or you might have some negatives. You might have some bumps in the road. Like, even if Sean Mannion is an offensive genius, it still might take him some time to not only teach this offense and relay it to the players, but to also find his rhythm as a play caller. Like, I think he's never called plays before. He doesn't know this personnel that well yet. This is his first season not only calling plays, it's his first season with this group of men. So you might see some growing pains with him. There might be some weeks where we're left scratching our heads saying, what was the deal with that play calling? You might see some times where Jalen Hurts, as well as he's playing, you might see some down games for him as he tries to adjust to an offense that has him doing things that he's not necessarily comfortable with. So you'll probably see some ups and downs this year. The key is going to be, let's hope this team is hitting their stride at the right time headed into the postseason. But would love to hear from people today. I'm flying solo for a little while. I got Brendan Gunn joining me at 4 o'clock. We'll have Ricky Bowe joining us probably around the 5 o'clock hour. But when you look at the 2026 Eagles offense, now that you know AJ's out, now that you know who everybody is, coaches, personnel, how good can they be? How bad can they be? And where do you think it'll end up? 3 ways to get involved. Get your texts into the Davis Honda text line. Get your voice memos in to the Davis Honda text line, or pick up the phone and call. It's the same number across the board, 610-632-0975. All right, coming up next, I know we got some voice memos, so we'll do a little We Hear You. We'll also update our Twitter poll, because as we're looking at the question of how good can this team be offensively and how bad can they be, related to that, what unit do you trust the most? What unit do you trust the most for the Eagles right now? Is it the offensive line? Can you really trust them after last season? What about the quarterback? Can you trust Jalen, even though he's had a ton of success? Can you trust, oh yeah, guaranteed he's going to be able to pick up Mannion's offense? Do you trust this new skills group position players without AJ and with a rookie in Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers? Do you trust Sean Mannion? Do you trust the coaches? New offensive line coach, new OC, new pass game coordinator. Man, there's a lot of question marks with this offense. It's exciting, and at the same time, it's a little scary. So we'll get to that as well coming up right after this. Unfiltered, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, welcome back into Unfiltered. Doing a lot of Eagles talk to start the show. We'll get to the Phillies a little bit later, talk about Christopher Sanchez's unbelievable 50-plus scoreless innings. Loved the standing ovation that the crowd gave him last night. Smart fan base, as always. But we started off talking about the Eagles, and we're looking at the Eagles now, life after A.J. Brown. Personnel on the offense is pretty set. I don't expect any massive changes over the next couple of months. We know Howie's always looking to wheel and deal, but I think if any other moves get made, it'll probably be on the defensive side of the football, maybe a safety, depending on what's going on with Jahad Campbell. Would they consider a linebacker? I think they're okay with Jeremiah Trotter Jr., but I think Howie's always on the phones, but safety might be where they go. But offensively, I think your personnel is pretty set outside of maybe some offensive line depth. We saw them add Fred Johnson late in camp last year, which turned out to be a great move. But as far as your starters go, you know who you are. You know who your quarterback is. You know who your offensive linemen are. You know what your skills group positions are going to be. And we now know the coaching staff. Sean Mannion, Grizzard. What's his name? Mahaffey? Is that his name, the new offensive line coach? I'm drawing a blank now. Is it Ryan Mahaffey?
Sounds right.
Anyway, new offensive line coach. So what we were asking people today was, how good can this offense be? And on the same thing, you can't talk about how good if we don't talk about, well, how bad can they be? Because there's a lot of question marks. And to kind of highlight the question marks, the Twitter poll today, oh, is it Chris Cooper? Oh, that's right. Mahaffey is the run game coordinator. I think they're two different roles now. Cooper was from Minnesota.
Mahaffey is run game coordinator. And tight end's your favorite.
Yes, that's correct. But to kind of highlight how this can go really either way. They could be really good or they could be really bad, is to ask the question, all right, well, who do you trust the most on offense right now? Because when you look around, as much as we're all hopeful for a lot of things, like we hope the offensive line's healthy. We hope the wide receiver room's going to be okay without AJ because Devontae's a stud and you brought in Dontavian Wicks and drafted Mekhi Lemon. You hope that Saquon Barkley is still the Saquon Barkley we know and love. You hope Jalen Hurts is going to be able to adjust to a new style offense. You hope that Sean Mannion and the rest of this offensive coaching staff know what they're doing and are going to have an ability to call plays and implement a new offense that's effective. We hope all those things. But what do you trust the most out of those things? That's the tough question. Now, when I'm looking at it, I'd probably trust the skills group the most, the wide receivers, the tight ends, and the running backs. But really, that's the least important, isn't it? If the offensive line's not good, nothing matters. If Sean Mannion's not good, nothing matters. If Jalen Hurts isn't good, nothing matters if that offensive line isn't the healthiest, and then the rest is kind of a domino effect. You need the O-line, you need Jalen, you need Mannion. The wide receivers, tight ends, running backs are probably the least important of the four. But let's check the Twitter poll before we hear your best voice messages of the day. Twitter poll up.
It's up.
Twitter poll always up. Thanks to Dr. Avi Donapel of Iron Mountain Men's Health. What we got?
Who do you trust the most on the Eagles offense right now? 54% say that they trust the quarterback the most. 29% say the wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. 14% for the offensive line. They jumped up. And 4% for the coaches. They switched.
Interesting. So 14% of people still have trust in the offensive line the most. Yeah, I guess if we were looking at the names on the back of the jerseys, I would agree with you. But Lane Johnson, Cam Dickerson, I wish. Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson were not healthy last year. Like, that's where I have a hard time saying, yeah, I trust them the most. Because we just don't know if they're going to be able to stay healthy. But the quarterback's still winning. Yeah, listen.
Well, I mean, look at the resume. I mean, I would just say that my first thought would be he always tries and finds a way to win. Just would have to go off of that.
Listen, yeah, like, if I had to put money on it, I'm betting Jalen Hurts has a big year. Like, what we know about Jalen Hurts, I'm betting he has a big year. But not seeing him in this offense, it makes it hard for me to vote. I trust him the most out of anybody. Like, I trust Jalen Hurts in an offense he's never ran before, doing things that we've never asked him to do before. That's where I kind of have my issue. But all right, let's see what people are saying on the voice messages. We hear you. We do it twice a show, every show, 3:45 again at 5:25. Always brought to you by Rycor Heating and Cooling, your local experts for energy-efficient heat pumps, lower utility bills, and year-round comfort. Learn more at RycorHVAC.com or call 1-855-MY-RYCOR to start saving today. Rycor, we know how. What do we got?
All right, first up.
I'm one of the biggest Negadelphians and pessimistic people there is, but I'm optimistic about the Eagles' offense. Hollywood Brown, Wicks, greater than Dotson. They're not going to have to force some dude the ball. Smitty's ready to step up as a number one. Makai's going to eliminate all doubts that we have about him. Eli Stowers and Goddard are both good receiving threats at tight end, and that's going to be a mismatch for the Eagles. And Mannion can tell Hurts how to look through his progression. He knows what it takes to be an NFL quarterback. I know he didn't light the world on fire. They're a bottom third offense last year. I'll be happy with a top half this year. Go Birds.
Go Birds! That's our man Jason checking in. Yeah, listen, there is a lot to be optimistic about. I agree with you. And I said it. I think the ceiling for this offense is actually the best offense we've ever seen in the Jalen Hurts era. I truly believe that. That's the upside. If we're being optimistic across the board, and you laid it out well, if you're being optimistic across the board, yeah, this offense can be phenomenal. But I just can't say it's a guarantee. I mean, there are risks here, and I know nothing's guaranteed, but there are risks with the O-line's health. I think that's probably, if I'm saying my biggest concern, it's not even how Jalen adjusts to Sean Mannion or how Sean Mannion is a play caller or any of that. It's the health of the O-line. I think it all starts with the offensive line. If they're healthy, I think, yeah, this offense has the potential to finish sky high.
It's scary. You had, Landon Dickerson's contract reworked. He thought about medical retirement. Then you had him in addition to Cam Jurgens, both going out of the country to get stem cell treatment in order to get treated for their injuries. Clearly, there was nothing here that could help. That's kind of a little bit worrisome.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little.
A little bit. I mean, yeah, that's where it's going to start right there, offensive line. But all right, let's get one more in.
Last one in.
Little hockey update from a man, Bill Colarulo. So Dylan Larkin requests for a trade today. That's crazy. I don't know if I like his contract, but welcome to the Flyers, ? Also, Russia versus United States in Russia, July 1st. Can anyone confirm this? That would be crazy.
Yeah,
how about that?
The Larkin stuff is going crazy right now on Twitter.
Yeah, I missed it. I must have been on air. When did this happen?
I just saw it as well. I was going to say within like the last hour or so.
Oh man, yeah. Let's take a look at Dylan Larkin's contract
within the last hour.
Appreciate the hockey update right there. Yeah, so Larkin signed a 8-year deal back in 2023. So he just finished up the third year of it, I guess. 8 years, $69.6 million. But I mean, look, yeah, he fills that need. You need that top line center. You need a guy that can put the puck in the net. He's going on 5 straight years of 30 plus goals at this point. Make the call, Danny. Make the call.
Make it happen.
Flyers fans out there, would you be interested in Dylan Larkin? Why not? D-Boss, I think they call him in Detroit. Would you make the trade for Dylan Larkin? Get your text in on that. Let's do a little hockey talk. 610-632-0975. All right, that was We Hear You. We'll do it again at 5:25. Get your voice messages in. And the Fightin' Phils get the W. And how about this? Not only do they win, they score more than 4 runs for the first time since May 18th. They put up 6. How about that, Ray Dunne?
How about that?
All right, coming up next, we'll talk a little Phillies. We got our man Brendan Gunn joining the show. And, of course, give me more at 4 with Silvana. Keep it here on Filtered, 97.5 The Fanatic.